is, and I'm a critic, and welcome back. We are still going through the videos of the past as I'm backlogged, but week one is in the books, and it's time for us to overreact with excitement and anxiety and panic and burn everything and rise everything and to say you were wrong and to say I was right, and then we go to week two later and we probably do the same exact thing, or we rescind half our statement we made after week one. But since it's week one and many people want to talk about week one, I think we need to give the proper awards to the winners. So let's start with Thursday Night Football between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens. So in this small segment, I'm gonna talk about the goods and I'm gonna talk about the bads. But to give credit for it, the Chiefs, they get the glory of being on my head to talk about how great they were, and I can't help but feel like, is it sad the Chiefs are just, they look good. They look really, really good. Even though I did have complaints about the way the season started for the Chiefs, how they get two opponents that basically, I mean, the way it looks right now, it looks like the Chiefs might be 2-0 and might be right on easy streak. I mean, I'm not going to say undefeated season because that just leads to chokes and disappointments. But by God, that game looked incredibly weak and still won. I can't help but feel like it's more Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, for whatever reason, unable to, get the finishing blow on the Chiefs. Like, seriously, I feel Buffalo is more formidable to the Chiefs when it comes to the rivalry, and maybe even the Bengals. When it comes to the Ravens, I don't know what it is. I don't know. They try to have a strategy and then they give up on it. Lamar Jackson runs around. I feel like the receiving core of the Ravens still felt suspect. There's still no freaking pass rush. And the Chiefs, they just look better. And I think the big concern that I've been hearing is that I assumed that Rice would be suspended for what happened. But according to some reports, it seems like Rice probably won't be suspended at all this year, but he may be suspended next year after the investigation. Call that fair, call that not. I kind of find a little bit like, I don't know, feels a little bit sus how you're not really quickly to bring down the hammer of justice when you have other players with lesser offenses and you bring down the hammer on them. So, are we going to call Chief biases as the next 20 years of Chief dominance, just like the Patriots did? Are we going to call that? I'm not going to go into conspiracies. I'm just going to watch the chaos if it does become that. But the Chiefs look good. Worthy definitely looks like the quality pick, which goes back to my statement about the Chiefs and Buffalo. Why did you do this to us? But Chiefs defense looked legit. Chiefs defense looked fun. And Baltimore, I feel like we're still asking the same questions. Now, granted, they may be better later, but right now, it's about the Chiefs. And talk about a good opening start. Yes, they got lucky. Yes, they got lucky. And honestly, yes, they got lucky, I will say, at some points. But in that case, then the Ravens probably should execute it. Remember, there were times where the Chiefs had the ball and had titles for field goals when they probably should have gotten touchdowns. So it's still week one. Let's overreact ourselves together. But to be honest with you, Chiefs are probably going to have a good week. Talk about a really high-scoring game, and it kind of disappointed that took place in another country instead of the United States. Because I kind of feel like, Eagles and Packer fans that don't have passport probably would have loved to see this game in the States. But talk about sending our best to Brazil instead of sending us like our two crappy teams to Brazil and kind of like, this is American football. We give you the scraps. Like some London games do. But this was a really high-scoring game. And the sad thing is, Jordan Love injury. God bless it wasn't a severe injury, but my God, talk about the ultimate, 3 to 6 weeks. Now, granted, the Green Bay, season, those 6 games are not crazy. It's after the 6 weeks that the game becomes more competitive. So now, Green Bay fan, I'm sure they're probably going, oh, thank God, but you really don't want to start the season like 2-4 either, or worse. So I'm not criticizing Malik Willis in that one, but Malik Willis was supposed to be the Tennessee Titans savior, and he didn't. And going to Philadelphia, I don't know. Philadelphia looked pretty much the same. Jalen Hurts made some boneheaded mistakes. The big thing is Saquon Barkley, which I'm sure Giant fans are just beating their heads with it. But also, I like the black uniforms. Really kind of cool for the Eagles, that black, thing. But Um, it's one game. Kelsey is being missed in the center. Sure, the tush post not formidable. I don't know. Maybe they'll get that fixed. I don't know. But Philadelphia's defense looked meh. There wasn't really much of a pass rush. Jordan Love look. I mean, the game was slow in the beginning, but Barkley was clearly the MVP of the game. He clearly was the reason why the Eagles were so formidable. And I'm excited for Barkley's, new life in Philadelphia. Hopefully, he'll have the same resurgence like McCaffrey did once he left Carolina and finally became a legitimate, star player, Madden cover icon. But it's 1 week. It's 1 week, and honestly, Green Bay looked good. Jordan Love injury is going to hurt. It's going to hurt. Not like Jalen Hurts did, but Philadelphia, good win. Green Bay looked solid. Both defenses really need work, guys. 1 weekend, you both didn't look like we have a defense. No, you look more like our offense is going to carry it, and hopefully our defense does not screw up too much. So thank you, Philadelphia, for lovely that. The Bears got de lucky. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Caleb Williams didn't do squat diddly. All this hype. He's the next Mahomes. He's the next Mahomes. For at least 1 week, you gotta calm that stuff down, okay? Because it was the Chicago defense and probably the failures of Tennessee that gave Chicago a win. Because it looked like it was gonna be a blowout, maybe even a shutout by the Tennessee Titans of all teams. And then when you see the stats and you find out that he really didn't do anything, you can't help but feel like, okay, maybe we need to calm down. Maybe we need to calm it down. Yes, it's 1 week and it's overreaction. I get it. But when Caleb didn't do diddly squat, boy, was I willing to go down to all those Chicago Bear, banners of playoff bound, 4,000 yards, and just be like, not yet, not yet. Go put it away. Go put it away. Go put it in your garage. Do not show that, okay? It's 1 week. Yeah, and your 1 week performance against Tennessee was more of a, we won and like a, whoop, thank God we didn't lose to Tennessee. So yeah, be proud, Chicago, you guys won. But Houston is your next opponent. And I feel like Caleb needs to at least show some sense of promise. Or else Chicago will be like, maybe we were thinking too highly. And I'll be like, yes, you were. But congratulations on the win. Tennessee, you lost. Good throw, Willis. Good throw. That was sponsored by Duke Mayo on that throw. Disgusting. Actually, I like Duke Mayo. I'm not going to crash much. For Chicago, good job on the win. Caleb Williams hype. Calm it down. Okay? Stop it. I'll be frank with you. I was kind of like not too much on the Sam Darnold train. I mean, I was hoping for success. I never really liked him out of college at a USC, to the Jets and others. And seeing him in there, and I thought the Giants defense would have done something. But my God, Daniel Jones. Wow. You want to overreact about rookies not producing? Let's overreact to quarterback that got big contracts. Barkley is succeeding, and the Giant fans are going, what are we doing? So, Minnesota got the win. I'm not going to say they didn't deserve it. I'm going to say the Giants are probably worse than we all thought. Potentially on that, carousel of top 5 pick is already like, I'm just getting it ready for you guys to get that, top 5, top 3, number 1 pick, okay? And Minnesota just says, hey, maybe we were better off without Kirk Cousins because, boy, Kirk Cousins didn't look that good in his debut in overreaction week 1. But the Vikings got the win. Congrats to them. Let's be happy. Go Vikings. And, sometimes you got to beat the teams that are in front of you, regardless of who they are. Yes, they beat the Giants team, and yes, some people are thinking, but they beat the Giants. Yeah, I'm glad they did, because clearly, with a 4th-team quarterback in Sam Darnold, beat your first-round pick quarterback in Jones. So maybe Sam Darnold will have a Baker Mayfield type year where he just proves that maybe you guys need to stick with me a little bit longer. So congrats to Minnesota. Giants, boo. So when the Saints go marching in, I cannot tell if the Saints are awesome or Carolina really stinks that much. I'm sorry, it's hard to say. The Saints look good. They play Carolina. The Saints look great. They play Carolina. Carolina sucks. They play. Oh wait, they are. Dave Canales left Tampa after 1 year as offensive coordinator to get the head coaching job because the ownership of Carolina is definitely knee-jerk. They more knee-jerk than most of Twitter followers when it comes to a controversial film. And now they 47-10 first pass of Bryce Young's new debut of the year, interception, and the Saints go on a blowout win. I mean, I think we all felt confident the Saints were going to win, but not by 37 points, to the point where basically you're just hoping for a mercy rule like in Pop Warner. The Saints look good, but they played Carolina. There's a lot of teams that look good, but the opponent they played was clearly inferior. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say, well, the Saints are just a joke. I've always said the Saints always look good. And until the Saints play, formidable opponent, we just got to say they took care of business like a lot of teams, like the Bucks did, just like the Vikings did. They take advantage of weak opponent, and it's not their fault. Winning because your opponent is a loser is not your fault. And New Orleans, basically, instead of winning by 7, they win and just flexed it and basically say, we're not the worst team in the NFC South, and this proves it. Now, we don't know what the rest of the season is, but for week 1, overreacting, Saints may have made some people go, okay, maybe you're not the worst team. And maybe we were a little bit too high on Carolina. Sorry. But when the Saints go marching in. Man, got a little bit of a heart attack there. Also, the kickoff rule is somehow doing better because we already have an opening week 1 kickoff by Arizona. Take that as you will. I'm just glad we still have it, so the debate of that we're never going to have one be like, it's supposed to lead to more. But Buffalo, Josh Allen, wrong quarterback. Josh Allen single-handedly carried this team to promise, but boy, did Arizona look like they were about to steal this one away from you. And yes, the praise of Josh Allen's success is there. I just can't help, of all reasons, just look at it and go, it's Arizona. It's the Cardinals. Yeah, I mean, Thursday Night Football, you guys play Miami. I don't know if Heroics would be there, which I'm more concerned about your defense because we saw what Tyreek Hill can do, and I feel like Jaguars was a little bit more sound defense than you guys are. So we'll see how you guys do this Thursday. But for right now, Buffalo, Josh Allen is the key to your guys' success. And like I said, I have more faith in Josh Allen going in to potentially compete against the Chiefs than the Ravens do. I believe that, and I still believe that. As for Arizona, you guys didn't suck. Kyler Murray comes in. Yes, there were some missed throws, including some wide open passes to your first round pick. But look good. Not bad. Not bad. Not a good. And remember, it's week 1. Let's overreact together. But for right now, let's just okay. Buffalo came back to win. Josh Allen looked like he's going to carry the team on his own. Looked like that's the narrative. And the Cardinals didn't look like garbage. And Kyler Murray did not look like he was, regressing in week 1 after such a long delay. Buffalo gets the win. Good to them. We'll see what they do against Miami. Okay, is it wrong to say that, are we going to actually ask that question of, did Miami win or did Jacksonville lose? And I'm not bringing up what happened to Tyreek Hill. That's a whole different network. I don't have the support or the subscriber base to even go that way, so I'm not going to be worried about talking about what I thought. But Tyreek Hill on the field just proves why he was viewed as one of the best players in top 100. It was a very slow start, and I can't help but feel like this felt more of a Jacksonville losing it than a Dolphin winning it. I'm going to steer with that narrative. I mean, don't get me wrong, the fumble at the 5-yard line, that was a peanut, pop it out. That was great. Classic defensive corner. We all happy about that, raising a hot hand in the air saying good job. But boy, did I just feel like Jacksonville, okay, you fumbled and you give an 80-yard touchdown, and it's like, okay, but you still have the lead. You still have the lead. what happened to that momentum? So, yes, I'll be that guy that says I think Jacksonville actually lost it. But, hey, a win's a win. You get that W. You move on to next week and you're going against Buffalo. You crush Buffalo, then honestly, I'll be more inclined to say, yeah, Miami did beat Jacksonville. But right now, it feels like Jacksonville blew it to me. But hey, you got the win, and that's not your fault. Go Dolphins. Let's all be calm here. It's only week one. It's only week one. Let's calm down here. But seriously, what the happened to Cincinnati? I see Joe Burrow doing this on the sideline. I'm thinking, oh my God, his hand's hurting. His hand's hurting. And New England, I was like, well, Judon is gone, and I'm like, well, they have nobody left. I even criticized them for that, and you know, of course, the running back was in, and Jacoby Brissett, but then Cincinnati have gone, you know, terrible in the first month of the season consistently, and gone to the playoffs and even the Super Bowl that one year. And you're seriously going to give me, you want me to give credit to New England of all teams because you guys didn't show up? I mean, granted, that fumble on the goal line, talk about poor timing on that, but he just felt like, is it because Jamar Chase didn't get paid? Is that the reason? Like, I mean, we saw what Dallas did, and we'll talk about them when their players got paid. Maybe that's the reason. I don't know. I don't know what the reason is. But Cincinnati, you have a tough beginning, and New England of all intents purposes, I feel like everyone is saying I lost money on that. They probably thought this was the most sure, you know, guaranteed game. Patriots lose to Cincinnati. It didn't happen. So, oopsie-doo. But you got the win, New England. At least right for at least 1 week, you're not winless. Take that as you will. Pittsburgh beating Atlanta, or I should say TJ Watt and the defense beat Atlanta, and the offense just did enough. I did say that George Pickens was going to be more than likely the offensive MVP, and in his first week, he kind of proved that he was the offensive MVP. Justin Fields getting the starting job, I feel like that was just a worthy successor from the gods, because I didn't feel like I confident about Russell Wilson, and Justin Fields' athleticism probably gave himself like that. But I didn't think the Steelers' defense was going to be like mid-season performance or TJ Watt to basically go become a one-man wrecking crew. TJ Watt is why he's basically saying, I'm defensive MVP of the year week 1, and I'm making my claim for the rest of the season that I will be, heaven forbid an injury, will be that guy. But like I said about the Bears, Atlanta, maybe you guys also need to calm it down when it comes to talking about Kirk Cousins. At least for right now, calm it down, because Tampa and New Orleans crushed their opponent with an offensive firepower, and I just can't help but feel like you got Philadelphia Monday, and then Kansas City, and then after that, New Orleans and Tampa. You could be winless in the first 6 weeks. Then what? Michael Penix comes in, and then that was the plan all along. Conspiracy, that was the plan. Kirk Cousins, the Falcons, would be winless after the first 6 games of the season, forcing their hand to put Michael Penix in, and then he will win 10 straight games. That's the plan. Now that happens, I am a god. Or the NFL is clearly rigged. But Pittsburgh deep win by defense, that's the Mike Tomlin reason, so makes sense. Houston and Colts. I think this has just showcased that this is going to be the new rivalry of that AFC South. 2 young quarterbacks in their second year. Richardson, yes, he didn't have a lot of completion, but boy, when he made those big bombs, it sure gets you really excited. In this back and forth kind of game, the scoreboard made it seem closer than you probably would think it was. Mixon went wild. I was surprised by the Colts defense on doing it. CJ Stroud basically saying Stephon Diggs is a great acquisition, and they proved it. But I'm telling you, Colts. I think Jacksonville needs to worry about their position because I think the Colts just said, yes, we lost, but I kind of leaning to Indianapolis as potentially fighting that potential last wild card spot versus you, Jacksonville, honestly. But it's week one. We overreact. But the Houston Texans taking against a division foe in the game that probably was a little bit closer than they probably would have liked and still getting the win proves that CJ Stroud's second campaign and the fear of the sophomore slump for at least 1 week is calm down, which is probably the theme of week one. Calm down. Overreact, but calm down. Houston with a win. Congrats to them. Basically, before the coin toss, Dak Prescott found his bank account had a lot more zeros in it and realized, oh crap, I got paid. And he proved why he got paid and proved why. And basically, Dallas's number 4 proved his worth, while Cleveland's number 4 proved its worth. And I have said, and now I hear other people talking about to the point where I'm like, I may not have the ESPN networks like you guys do, but I have said, and maybe some people others like me in YouTube world, where we said Jameis Winston probably should be the starter for the Cleveland Browns. And yeah. But also, I'm really disappointed on the Cleveland defense. But I feel like if the Cleveland offense was somewhat more consistent, it would have helped the Cleveland defense. I mean, they're praising Dak Prescott, rightfully so, for his performance and, the return of Ezekiel Elliott and CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons. The captains doing the captains of the Dallas team and the veterans are doing what they do best. They dominate, they crush, but we kind of expected Dallas to do that. I expected them to blow out Cleveland like they did, but I feel like it just makes it more apparent that maybe Cleveland should have kept Joe Flacco. And in some instances, Cleveland fans are thinking, so did we really need to get rid of Baker? Like, really? Now, some people in the Cleveland network are basically having temper tantrums on their network saying, Baker Mayfield's a bust, and that's why we got rid of him. And I'm like, hey man, hope how you cope. As a Buccaneer fan, we're very happy that your bust became our success. So, yeah, you deal with you. By the way, good luck with those new allegations that just came around. Perfect timing. And we'll take care of ours. And Dallas, we prove why no one cannot doubt you. So, for right now, Dallas, do what Dallas does best. The Seattle Seahawks take on the Denver Broncos, a team that I kind of felt a little bit more confident than maybe I give it credit for. By the way, Kenneth Walker showing out, which I just feel like I did say he is my MVP for the Seahawks, so I kind of feel pretty good about that. I kind of feel pretty good that in his first day, he kind of showed out. Bo Nix made a lot of boneheaded mistakes in this game against Seattle. And Geno Smith looking like, okay, I'm not a one-hit wonder, and still look like he still has some legs under that body of his. So Seattle, it's a good solid win. We're not really paying attention to it yet. I like the retro uniforms of day one. I really like those. I wish they bring them more, like the Bucks and the Creamsicles and stuff. So I'm really happy that Seattle got the win. Denver didn't look completely useless, but, good solid win for Seattle. There's nothing really to criticize, Bo Nix look like Bo Nix and Seahawks like Seahawks. Good job, Seattle. And let the Harbaugh era begin in Los Angeles and the Chargers. A game that the scoreboard made it look, doesn't look very appealing. The Raiders, the Chargers, No one really looks, great. Mac had a pretty good day, but it never really felt. J.K. Dobbins, which I'm really happy for him after his journey from being the Ravens, got injured and then got pushed so far behind, and now he's in the Chargers, and he was the captain of that team. Granted, that's what Harbaugh likes to run the ball, so we'll see how far that goes. And I kind of like how even without Austin Eckler, they still look formidable. So to me, good win for the Chargers, good win for Harbaugh. Congratulations. Raiders still look like Raiders to me. Nothing really screamed anything great. So yeah, I mean, this was a bologna sandwich. You know, it's substance. It's something there. Unless you're a fan of the team, you're okay. So Chargers, good job for you. Tampa Bay. A game that I was thinking, what if Jaden Daniels shows out? And there was some time where I was like, stop running! Stop running! He just, everything he did was run for first down, run for first down. And that was probably the reason what kept the Washington Commanders dangerous for most of the time, was that he kept running. And there were times where I was wondering, okay, Baker Mayfield's starting off good, and I was always having that feeling that will the Bucks, get too conservative. But no, they basically say, go for broke, and they went out, and if Baker and Mike Evans was in your fantasy, which I can't help, but people probably didn't have any of them in their starting fantasy, you had a good weekend. And Baker is getting the attention, the Bucks are getting the attention, and I'm kind of like there goes a Buccaneer fan going, can we not? I don't like the attention. Not to mention, our secondary basically got depleted with injuries, and some of our starters will not be available against the freaking Lions. We're going against the Lions in Detroit, which, funny enough, Detroit has 2 games of the season at home against the 2 teams they've beaten in the playoffs. Yeah, the NFL is not rigged at all. And you want me to say, I think the Bucks had a chance. I'm like, dude, our defense is depleted in the first week and a half, and as of right now, I have no idea the injury status of some of the players that were injured from the week before. So unless the Buccaneers offense base had to score 30 points to probably compete against a Lion team that looks to me balanced and healthy, oh boy, talk about a tall order. But for 1 week, I can say, hey, that is the potential of Tampa Bay, and Baker Mayfield for at least 1 week made us feel like, okay, good. He didn't regress tremendously, and we didn't struggle against an inferior opponent. At least we can show that we're somewhat competent in our first week. So 1 week, overreact, calm down. And like I said, the next opponent, Detroit Lions. Are we so happy to fight them? We're so happy to fight Detroit. Detroit and the Rams. Stafford returns home. The NFL is definitely rigged on this one, because you bring the Lions and the Rams and the Lions and the Bucks. That seems fair. That seems very much fair. Chiefs get 2 home games against 2 teams they'll fight in the playoffs themselves. So if the NFL is basically saying Chiefs and Lions in the Super Bowl, I want to say I called it first, because the NFL is scripted. But, pardon me, Lions, the Rams look good, and I feel like it sucked that the Rams scored a touchdown to take a lead, and basically for the rest of the game, Stafford never got the ball. The Lions drove down the field, tied it up, and then overtime, they got the ball and just ran it down the throats. Really, really feeling like Aaron Donald was definitely really missed, because I feel like that Ram defense was just taken for a ride by the running effect of the Detroit Lions. And the defense was at times like, wow, with no Puka Nacua and a third string offensive tackle, I kind of felt like it was a game going to be watched, but Stafford proved it. The good news is for the Buccaneers against the Lions is that at least their offensive line is healthy. But man, the Lions might have looked the most weak in week 1, but after 1 week of refixing, I mean, Tampa has a tall order. But Detroit, week 1 in the books, you look like you're legit again. So, yeah. But, I mean, were we really expecting anything less? It's kind of weird to say the Lions are actually good. Boy. Aaron Rodgers' first debut back into the league makes you scratch your head going, okay, that happened. And then you're looking into the rest of the team and you're going, okay, that happened. And then you see that, McCaffrey's not playing, so you're thinking, did the Jets have a chance? And you realize, nope, it's clearly a team effort. Brandon Ayuk got paid, had some drops, so it made you wonder, like, we assumed that if we paid you your worth, you would be more formidable catching the ball. Because there was a lot of time where the Niners got down the field, basically within the 20-yard line, instead of our field goals. And you can't help but feel like, man, if we would, it's similar to how some teams this week, where they will get down the field, settle for field, when they know they should probably go for touchdowns. But they didn't. So in the end, San Francisco did execute, and the San Francisco defense didn't allow him out of step, even though with all the drama, all the press, a lot of it very negative with tragedy and contract disputes, and will they come back after what happened to them again in the Super Bowl? All that, and they come in against a Jets team that we all thought the Jets defense was more legit than they were, and apparently they look like to be, at least for 1 week, overreaction with me here, not. So, San Francisco, oh boy. Okay. Interesting. Scary. But San Francisco gets the win, so good for them. Now, like I said, this is week 1. We are overreacting with enthusiasm. But that's the fun part. So next week we'll find out how many teams that go from 1-0 to 2-0, 1-1, and of course those that are still winless after 2 weeks. And this will be something we'll do from week to week. Maybe it's new, maybe it's fun, but that's the result for week 1. So until next time, I'm Cortez, and I'm a critic. Thank you so very much for watching.